Well, good morning, everybody. So it is extremely early. The sun is just starting to come up, and I have been mathing. Oh, wow. Mathing at 6 to 7 a.m. Probably not something I should be doing, but hey, you get things done when you can get things done, right? Well, anyway, so I'm going to be coming back at the end of the video as well, but I thought I'd tell you what I've been doing. Now, you guys all know I do have a couple of health concerns. It happens. So one of the things that I've been really trying to do is trying to make sure I eat breakfast. Breakfast is one of the hardest meals for me to eat. We all know breakfast is important. And none of us, either one, we just don't eat the right food, because we all really kind of need to eat the right food, or we don't have a lot of time, or you get up late and you're running out the door. So what I did is I just shared some of the things that I do for breakfast, being it's just for me, or it's for both of us, and some things that I just keep handy in the freezer, or in this case, this week, we just kept them in the fridge. So we breakfast prepped in the past, making like sausage patties, and we've done breakfast burritos, English muffins, things like that. But this is just a few other things that I've done, and also how much they cost. So one of these apples is a little bit wilty, and it really needs to be used up. So normally I only make oatmeal for myself, but we're doing this as a meal for two. I'm trying to find healthy but economical. I want to see how much this is going to cost. And yes, I know this is a lot of fruit for two people to have breakfast, but I kind of do have to change my breakfast game. There needs to be more of the fruit, more of the veggies and things as well, but hey, that's a whole other conversation. So basically we're having oatmeal with stewed fruit, excuse me, for this breakfast. And no, I'm not going to show you guys what I look like because it is only 7 a.m. Not even. It's 6:45. Oh, and it is pretty early in the morning. All right. I have about a cup of frozen cranberries in here. Let me get some water. There we go. There's about 3.5 cups of water. And the apples. So these are going to cook probably about 15 minutes just to get them started, and then we will get the oatmeal made. Cinnamon's one of those great buy a bag, lasts forever spices, so fabulous when it comes to economics. All right, 1 cup of oatmeal. So like I said, the fruit to oatmeal ratio to make this as healthy as I can, so you get all those good food groups. There's a lot of fruit in this oatmeal. Now, this is more than what 2 people generally eat when it comes to serving size, but on a day like today when it's really, really cold and there's things that need to get done, we're going to eat a fair amount of oatmeal. So we're going to be adding a few slivered almonds to both. Get some of those healthy fats in there. These I am not adding into the budget, guys. These are just because I need them. Now, if we were going to have the full proteins and everything as well, we'd be adding like a boiled egg, things along those lines. But when it comes to value, there you go. Ooh, pumpkin seeds are good. All right, cost per serving, right there. Not too bad, eh? Yeah, tell me I'm not Canadian when I said the word A. Yesterday's breakfast, easy, economical, great for families. Can stretch it a long way, add a boiled egg, get your protein, all the fun stuff. But now you guys are saying, but Tammy, I don't work from home. But Tammy, I need to be at work at 8 a.m. And you've been stopping at Timmy's or McD's every morning. There's an economical way around that too. It just means a little bit of time on your part. Okay, what we're going to be doing are oven omelets for sandwiches. Yes. Make them ahead, have them ready to go in the fridge, grab one, and then off you go. Crazy easy. Now, I know for some people that watch, and you know, some of our friends are in a place where egg prices are absolutely ridiculous. And I recognize that, okay? For us here, a dozen eggs is approximately $5. So, I'm going to be using $2.50 worth of eggs. So 6 eggs. Now, you can dress these up however you want. Ours are going to be real simple. I am just going to use 6 eggs and bacon bits. These things. Here we go. Now, if you have leftover bacon, cut it up. If you have leftover ham, cut it up. You have sandwich meat you want to use up, cut it up. Believe it or not, leftover lunch meat works well too. Now, I'm adding a good handful. So in my hands, that's about half a cup. Okay? There we go. Now let me show you how we're going to cook these. Okay, now before you come at me, yes, my baking trays are not shiny and silvery. I don't usually worry about that. They're clean and they work, okay? All right. Handy dandy pro tip. You ready? Parchment paper is your friend. And when you need it to fit in a tray like this, just get it wet. Ta-da! Alrighty. Give this another little swishy swishy. And pour it in. Get every little bit out. There we go. Whoops! There we go. Give it a shift around. Make sure it's all in the corners. Alright, so this is going to bake in the oven. And then I'll show you what we do with it after that. There we go. Our omelet is done. It's still hot, so I'm going to let this cool down. How long did that take? In the oven, it took 10 minutes. Maybe a little bit more, actually, now that I think about it. I probably lost track. But, easiest breakfast sandwiches in the world, especially if you're in a hurry. So I've got 5 bagels. The package did have 6, but Fred ate one. So I'm going to do this like we have 6, and the math I'm going to do is also going to be for 6. And it depends totally on how you get your bagels and where. Our bagels were half-price bagels. These have been in the freezer. This is the cost for a regular package of bagels. And we already know we spent $2.50 on eggs. And I'll do the math on the bacon, but you don't have to add it if you don't want to. All right, so while this gets cold, I'm going to start cutting these up and slicing them and putting them through the toaster. All right, here's our egg. So we're just going to cut it into 6 pieces. Now, I know the pieces are going to be bigger than the bagels, but that's okay. Am I worried about it? No. But see, I mean, yeah, they're not super thick. Nothing fancy. Nothing difficult. If you want more egg and you have the budget for it, add a couple more. It's not going to hurt a thing. Okay, now you guys know I'm a cheese person. We're going to be putting Kraft singles on these, mostly because it's economics. Strictly about value, guys. Now, regular cheese depending on where you buy it. It can be cheaper. There's some steam on here from where I cut the eggs. So a block of cheese can be a lot cheaper than this, but these packages, when you get them on sale, can be $3.99, and there's 26 slices. So the cost per slice is this. So for breakfast sandwiches, this does work out to be a much better value. You don't have to put butter on them if you don't want to. That choice is totally yours. We like a little bit of butter, so I'm not going to factor the butter in. Because, I mean, doing the math on a pound of butter and how much I'm putting on each bagel, yeah, that's probably going to be almost impossible for me to do. Now, I didn't put any salt or pepper on these when I cooked them. I'm going to put a tiny bit on them when I put them together, just to make my life a little bit easier. Piece of cheese. Piece of cheese. And one omelet. There you go. The easiest breakfast sandwich in the world. So 6 servings for bagel sandwiches that you can grab, put it in the microwave, warm it up really quick, put it on a paper towel. It's a lot cheaper than stopping at Timmy's or McD's. I'm telling you that right now. If you want to dress them up a little bit, like I said, I'm going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on these. To be honest, maybe I'll put the salt and pepper on when we warm them up. But if you have leftover lettuce and tomato, you want to put some of that on there, use it. But there you go. Easiest breakfast sandwich in the world, especially when you guys are running. All you need is about a half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. Prep them all for the week. Save yourself a ton of cash. Here's breakfast. Warmed in the microwave for 30 seconds. I got an apple. Breakfast is ready. And if you are working hard, you just grab that and run out the door. So much tastier than Tim's. Sorry, Tim's. So let's talk about being by yourself. My best friend, pancake mix. Now, you guys have seen me talk, or I should say, you guys have heard me talk about pancake mix before. This stuff here is the Kirkland all-in-one pancake mix. That's what I buy. If you don't want to buy a big bag of the Kirkland pancake mix, then buy a box of add-only water. Works really well. Now, for me, because I want to add some protein, I always add powdered milk. It just works for me. Gives me the added protein. Okay, let me get some water. There we go, just enough pancake mix for one. I think today we're gonna have raspberries. Good old healthy handful of raspberries. All right, stir these up. Just about time for breakfast. You guys have seen this little pan before, so when you're by yourself, these little pans are perfect. So this pan is the one I usually use for pancakes when it's just me. Now, of course, I'm using frozen raspberries, so it tends to make it turn into a bit of a lump. So I'm just going to spread it around. And apparently I put too much butter in my pan this morning, but am I worried about it? No, because butter is good. I like my butter. I don't care. Butter is good. Just saying. All right, now I cook them in these little pans low and slow. So when I'm ready to flip it over, I'll show it to you again. But this pan here, this little tiny old Tefal, perfect size to cook an egg to make a quick breakfast sandwich too. So anyway, hey, breakfast for one is just as easy as breakfast for many. Time to flip the breakfast. Ready? Ta-da! There we go. I'm just gonna let this keep cooking and hey, my breakfast will be served. Man, does that ever smell good? I'm just saying. It smells so good. All right. This is what we're doing this morning. So I've been showing you guys the things that, one, you can do breakfast that are quick. Breakfast for one. Breakfast with lots of fruit. I mean, basically as complete a meal as I can get. But one of the things that we're going to talk about today is breakfast for a crowd. And the easiest thing I find for breakfast for a crowd are sheet pan pancakes. So that's what we're going to make. Now, I was going to do just like a homemade mix, but I decided I'm going to stick to the pre-made because when you got a crowd going on, maybe you want to visit, right? So what I've done so far is I've got my sheet pan ready to go, and I put parchment in it again. Hey, easy cleanup, right? Put in my pancake batter. There we go. Should be about right. And we'll throw another big healthy spoon in. There we go, pancake batter. Actually, I didn't quite put enough water in. Let me grab a tiny bit more water. That's better. I mean, we've all been there, especially if you have kids, making pancakes. I mean, do you get to sit down and have your pancakes while they're warm? Not usually. I do actually do this quite a bit. I just put them in the freezer. I find it actually pretty easy to do. All right, let's get all this, I almost called it cake batter. Pancake batter out. There we go. Get it to all four corners. All right, now when I use a small pan like this, this is 8 pancakes for us, okay? Now, if you've got a couple of really big healthy eaters, you can just make 4 big pancakes. But no, for us, this is 8 pancakes. There we go, all spread out. Now comes the fun part. Now, I don't know how you guys like your pancakes, but we like fruit sometimes. There we go. We like plain sometimes. But there's also some ways you can mess around. Let me show you what I mean. So I've got a few blueberries that I just pulled from the freezer. So 1/4, we're going to put blueberries on. I got a few pieces of just raspberry left. There's a little bit of ice in the bag. I'm not that worried about it. We'll make some raspberry on this side. I know, there's ice, there's ice. I'm going to leave 1/4 completely plain. And check this out. 2 partially, well, mostly cooked. And 2 sausages. Now, since we are still eating out the freezer, these are 2 of that last package of the pre-cooked Johnsonville sausage that we got on clearance a while back. So basically, I've got 8 pancakes for Fred and I for the next 2 days. So, yay! These are going to bake in the oven until it's completely cooked, and then I'll show you what it looks like. And if you've got a bigger crowd, just use a bigger pan. Serving this, guys, is crazy easy. You ready? Take it out of the pan. And you just slice it up. Now, if you like the butter flavor and things, put butter on your parchment. I mean, if you really want to. Now, like I said, this is for 8 pancakes. There we go. And then once this way. Now, I put all the different things on one sheet pan pancake just to show you guys what I normally put on a sheet pan pancake. And then the pancakes themselves, I'll use a lifter for that. Nice. Whoops. Let me turn it around. Nice, light, fluffy, thoroughly tasty. But anyway, I find this easy if I'm actually cooking pancakes for a crowd. Yeah, they don't have the buttery flavor unless you put butter on the parchment. No, they don't have that crispy texture, but at least everybody can eat together. Okay, we're gonna eat. So like I said, I've been mathing. Anyway, so those are the costs of things. Now I've got my screen behind me because I'm going to need to reference things because I may be mathing, but memory, forget about it. So the oatmeal, for an example. The oatmeal is more than one serving each. So when I did my little cost search, a standard bag of the 1 kilo Great Value oatmeal, it's $2.77, and it comes with 25 servings when you do the math for the grams per price, which is actually really good. Now for us, that's 2 servings of oatmeal each, plus all the fruit. So a serving of oatmeal is 33 cents. I honestly I never thought about it that way. Like same way as we've done budget in the past, I never thought about it. 33 cents. The expensive part of that breakfast were the apples. Apples, the price of apples, a 3-pound bag of apples was $6.97. Wow. The 2 apples worked out to be about $1.50. That's crazy. Wow. Now the frozen fruit, the frozen cranberries worked out about 50 cents. Cranberries are not necessarily something you can really get in the freezers. Now, for us, we buy the big bag of local cranberries. I can usually get it for about $10, and it just stays in the freezer. Cranberries are one of the best fruits you can keep in the freezer. Just saying. Works great. Now, the other fruits and things that I did price out for the other breakfasts, I was going by the prices of the bags of the frozen fruit. I didn't even look at the fresh stuff because fresh raspberries, like you're looking at $5 or $6 a pint. So everything that you guys saw for prices are based on frozen fruit. It was easier. You can even get frozen rhubarb now. Did you guys know you can get frozen rhubarb? But the problem was I couldn't find the price. I know President's Choice had frozen rhubarb, but then again, I've got bags of the stuff from that massive rhubarb patch. What else did we do? I also did not put in the cost of the bacon, the handful of bacon. It worked out probably about 14 cents worth of crumbled bacon. And I also didn't cost in the Johnsonville sausages. Mostly because I got those on clearance. They were vacuum sealed. They've been in the freezer. I honestly don't remember what they cost retail, and I can't find them. I think I paid only $1 a package for those. So if I do it that way, those 2 sausages cost me about 14 cents. The breakfast sandwiches, super easy to do. If you've got an extra half an hour and you got a small sheet pan, make a bunch of them. Jamarelle Stewart, if you guys ever watch her page, she's a single mom, but she's got a big family. Sheet pan omelets is another thing that she makes as well, but she makes them on big pans and she makes like 4 at a time. You got 9 mouths to feed, you make a lot of sandwiches. Me, I don't have 9 mouths to feed. I can get those 6 sandwiches from one tray and it works out perfectly. 1 egg each, a handful of bacon crumbles. If you want to add onions and peppers, add onions and peppers. I've also just put like a slice of sandwich meat ham on them. Put the cheese on, done. Now, yeah, I do use Kraft singles when I make those sandwiches, but Kraft singles, I just find them a little easier. And then, of course, it gives you that same sort of feel of, hey, I went somewhere and I spent $5 on a breakfast sandwich. Because they all use the singles when they make their sandwiches. It's pretty rare to actually get a breakfast sandwich that has natural cheddar on it anymore. But anyway, guys, like I was saying, I was trying to go for healthy for me, but economical at the same time. Economics are important. We all know this. I find buying the pancake mix that is all together and you just add water a little bit easier. As we all know, there's a lot of our friends right now that are paying like $10 for a dozen eggs. Whereas us up here, we can still get a dozen eggs for about $5. So if you can get away with making pancake mix with the all-in-one stuff so you don't have to worry about the milk and the egg, it works well. Now, my pancake mix is the Kirkland stuff, so that's that big bag. The money that I put on the video is based on the Pearl River pancake mix, you know, the Aunt Jemima stuff that you can get at Walmart, and it's about $4 a box. And that stuff actually is really, really tasty, but I just buy the bag because it saves me from going to buy more if I run out. It works out well. Now, the other thing I also did not price is the syrup. Not everybody likes syrup. Yeah, you heard me say that. Some people don't like syrup. Some people will only use maple syrup. And some people just put jam. Plain pancakes with a little bit of jam. Oh, tasty. All right, since we're talking about pancakes, actually, let me talk about those pancakes again. Those sheet pan pancakes, they're fluffy, they're tasty. They don't have the crispy on the top and the bottom. But when I warm them up, I put them in the air fryer and they get toasty and crispy all around on the outside. I've also put the plain ones, so no fruit, no bacon, nothing like that, in the toaster. So when I freeze them and I keep them in the freezer, when I want to warm them up, I just put them in the toaster and it's just like having an Eggo waffle. Super tasty. All right, I babbled probably a lot more than I thought I was going to. I can see the sun coming up in the video from back there behind me. I got all my gardening stuff. Oh, it's almost gardening season. Can you believe it? Anyway, I want to get more seeds in that dirt. It's too early. But like I said, I've babbled long enough. I just wanted to share some of the easy, economical, and tasty things that I do for breakfast in our house. And I hope that inspires you guys to rethink that quick stop when you're running into work in the morning. If you've got an extra half an hour, throw some bagels in toasters, bake up some eggs, grab and go. Tell me what you guys do for your breakfasts, and because I'd like to add to my breakfast repertoire. So have a fabulous rest of your day, everybody, and we'll see you next time as we continue our simpler life here on PEI. Bye for now. I'm gonna drink my coffee.